back, Mrs. Whitney.
Oh, home. I can't believe I'm home.
Perhaps you'd like to go upstairs and rest?
No. I just want to look at this room for a while. I didn't think I'd ever see it again.
Maybe Mrs. Whitney would like a drink, Spencer.
I'd be happy to fix you something.
I haven't had a drink in days.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a nightmare. I couldn't believe it really happened and is happening.
Don't think that way, Mrs. Whitney.
It's true. It's not over yet. I may be out on bail, but I am not free.
Try not to worry about it.
Try not to worry about it. If the jury indicts me for murder, I go to prison for life. I'd rather die.
I'm sure that won't happen. I'm sure the jury will recognize your innocence. Don't you agree, Nora?
Of course I do. We don't think you could have murdered that woman in cold blood the way they say you did.
That's what my attorney says, my new one.
The gentleman we saw at the police station?
Yes. His name is Bennett Matthews, and he's good. My car recommended him, so I know he's good, and he said that the jury will probably be in my favor.
Oh, I'm sure he knows what he's doing. After all, he did manage to get you home.
Morning.
Hi. Here it is, Mr. Gentry. Sorry it took so long, but that much money in cash requires a number of countings.
I understand. Well, listen, thanks a lot.
Now, don't you think you should count it yourself?
Oh, I'm sure it's right. I mean, I'm sure you people can count better than I can.
Still, $100,000 is $100,000, isn't it?
It certainly is $100,000.
And I still think it's a mistake to travel with so much cash. You should really have taken a bank check.
Well, Mr. Frobish, you know, I'm just following orders. Cash is what Mrs. Whitney wants. Cash is what she gets.
Yes, well, it's her money, of course. Tell me, is Mrs. Whitney planning on another vacation?
That's right. She's going on a cruise, a long cruise.
Nice to be rich, isn't it?
I don't know, but I would sure like to find out. Thanks again.
Did you read this?
Yes, I did, Mrs. Whitney.
At least they could have chosen a better picture.
Excuse me, Mrs. Whitney.
Yes, Spencer.
I was wondering about dinner this evening. I've been in the kitchen, and I'm afraid there isn't much food in the house.
Spencer, I couldn't possibly think about eating anything.
I thought perhaps I might go to the market and do some shopping.
Of course, we weren't prepared for your homecoming.
You know what I'd really love right now? A big, thick piece of meat.
I'd be happy to fix anything you like.
We could barbecue it. Spencer and I cleaned off the patio this morning. The weather was so nice and warm, we thought it would be a good idea.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be around long enough to enjoy it, but I'd love a steak, Spencer.
Spencer, why don't you stock up on supplies? I assume Mrs. Whitney will be dining in from now on.
Well, I can't really go to any restaurants until the grand jury decides what they're going to do with me.
Yes, I think that's a good idea, don't you, Spencer?
The decision is Mrs. Whitney's, Nora.
Well, I might as well stay here. I don't want to go anywhere.
In that case, perhaps I should start looking for a cook.
I don't think that's a good idea, Spencer. I mean, we don't want a stranger in the house now.
I think Nora's right. I don't really want anyone new around here. There must be another answer.
We could have your main meals catered.
Then I wouldn't have to go to any restaurants.
Fine, I'll make the arrangements, but we'll still need some staples, so if you'll excuse me.
Thank you, Spencer. Well, I can't really go out, but I want to see people. No, I don't want to be a prisoner in my own house. I have an idea.
Yes, Mrs. Whitney?
Why don't you get me Mike Carr's number? I'm going to call him and see if him or Nancy can come over tonight.
Hi.
Hi.
I was on my way over to Sid's for some lunch. I thought I'd stop by and see if I could convince you to join me.
Oh, Calvin, I'd love to, but I've got so much work to do here. I just thought I'd brown bag it.
You always do that. Oh, come on, Dee Dee. It'd be good for you. It'd be good for me. I would love a warm meal and some comfort.
Well, I understand the need for a warm meal, but why the comfort?
Well, I guess has something to do with what I did this morning.
And what was that?
I finally sent that letter to Star. I went over it all last night. I mean, I even rewrote the thing twice. Then I went back to the original, and that ended up being what I sent.
I know it wasn't easy for you, Calvin, but the letter that you read to me, at least what I heard of it, was very beautiful.
Yeah, well, thanks, but I wasn't trying to be poetic. I was just trying to really let her know how I felt, you know? And, of course, hurt her as least as possible.
It really hurt you, though, didn't it? To put those words down on paper.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Come here. Feel better?
I can't tell. Try again. Yeah. It's on its way to New York.
Okay, now, we have got one green salad with Italian dressing and one Italian salad with house dressing and... Mitzi, what does this say? What was your salad again?
Mine was a green salad, Mitzi.
Me Italiano.
Well, you should have been able to remember that, Mitzi. That's where Kelly lived.
Gavin, please don't confuse me. I mean, I know Kelly lived in Italy, but he could have also lived in a house.
That's right. That's what I want. The house dressing.
Me too, but on the green salad. Oh, my gosh. I think I've been too long away from this job. Okay, now. One, two, three. Okay, now. We all want salad, right?
Right. What, 2 green salads, one with the house dressing, one with Italian dressing. You got that?
And one Italian salad with house dressing. It's simple.
It is?
Yeah.
All right, listen, why don't we all get the same thing? No,
okay?
no, Jody, I am going to get this right. You wait.
We're waiting. Fried dinners and one Swiss steak and salad to go. Right, I'll have it over to you in about a half hour, okay? Bye.
Okay, now, since I have these 3 salads.
Oh, not
and-
now, Mitzi, okay? What is it with this trash can, anyway?
Well-
Hasn't anybody emptied it all day long?
Louis sick, remember?
Well, come on, let's get it out of here before the Board of Health comes and closes us
But
down.
I've got these 3
Look,
salads.
I'll take care of the salad orders. You do that, all right?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
What's this I hear, Kelly? You are going to be Jody's boss?
Yeah, well, in a way, Jody is going to be the new hostess of the children's show I'm producing.
Hey, that's great, Jody. You're going to be terrific with those kids.
I hope you're right.
Isn't the name of that show Penny's Playroom?
Yeah, something like that, but we're going to have to come up with a new title now.
Well, why don't you call it Jody's Place?
Jody's place. Yeah, well, why don't we forget about putting my name in the title? I mean, I might not work out, and then you'll just have to change it again.
Yeah, well, why don't we worry about the title of the show some other time?
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you keep the name, but call it the Penny Playroom?
I don't get it.
Well, every morning when the kids come in, you have each of them put a penny in a big piggy bank, and then when it's all full, you give it to some worthy charity.
Well, that's an idea.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. It'll teach the kids the meaning of charity.
Well, maybe you could have them pick out their own charity every week.
And you can think up some cute name for the piggy bank.
I'll tell you what, Sid. If you ever want a job in children's programming, see Gavin.
Thanks, but I got a job, and I better get back to it. Did I get those salads right?
Yeah.
Listen, Kelly, next time you have a job to offer, please remember me, huh?
Oh, well, that'd be a great idea. Then we could work together again.
Yeah, well, there aren't any openings right now, but I'll certainly keep my eye open for you.
Oh, listen, I was only kidding. You've done enough for us already.
Us, huh?
Yeah, I guess we always sort of think of each other that way.
Yeah, I was just
trying to think of what it would be like to be in Us.
What about you and Val? I mean, or shouldn't I say that?
Well, Val and I were in Us until Jim Dietrichson came into the picture.
Well, I thought Val wasn't seeing Jim anymore.
Well, she wasn't for a little while, especially when she found out that he was lying about that plastic surgery he was supposed to have done at the clinic in Lucerne.
Well, you'd think something like that would be enough to sour her on the guy forever.
Well, obviously it wasn't. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't. That's okay. It does show us one thing. Just how much she does like this guy.
Hi, but they just came in.
Boy, he looks happy, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Sydney, my favorite restaurateur.
Tous. Haven't seen you around in a while.
I've been busy all the time. That's what keeps me looking so young. My next birthday, I'm going to be 104. It's so good when you laugh. Huh? You got to keep busy to look good. From the way you look, I'd say that you're probably the busiest girl in the whole world.
Ah, now I know it's where you've been. To Ireland, huh? To kiss the Blarney Stone.
I'm just feeling good, I am, Sidney. I'm feeling real good.
Oh, you got some good news about the theater?
Hey, pretty soon we're going to own that theater. And I'm going to name it after you.
Sounds to me like something's coming up.
Everything's coming up. Gardenias. 100,000 gardenias.
Oh, yes. He's on just about every cultural committee in Monticello.
Or if he isn't, his daughter is. What's her name again?
Grace.
Yes, right. It's great. And she has a charming gallery down on Sullivan Street. I must say, though, that the prices are a bit much for me.
So are some of the paintings for me. Well, the ones I see in the window, although there was one last week, a primitive that I liked very much.
Nicole, you were talking about a party.
Yes, Dwight Endicott is giving a party, and he's invited Miles and myself, and also Jody and Gavin.
None of us is quite sure why.
Well, why not? You're not bad company.
That's why we invited you to dinner tomorrow. As a matter of fact, why don't you bring Gavin and Jody, too?
No, I think they're going roller discoing or something.
Nicole, what was the story you covered at the hospital?
Oh, well, it was very unpleasant. It was a car accident involving 4 teenagers. Unfortunately, they had been drinking.
Yes, I saw that coming in on the teletype. Sad.
It was just awful. We got the young driver on camera, and while we were taping him, he didn't even know that the other 3 were dead. It was awful.
I saw an interesting patient myself this morning. Mike, I thought you might know him.
Oh, what's his name?
His name was Samuel Wheaton. He's known as Sammy. And Captain Anderson tells me he's got a whole string of petty offenses on his record.
I don't see what's so interesting about that.
At the moment, he's working for the Lucky Salvage Company. His job is described as assistant welder.
I don't know him, but I'm sure Derek does.
I still don't see why he's so interesting.
He was the victim of a very bad beating last night. So bad that if it had gone on another couple of minutes, he probably would have died.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, what's even more awful is that he claims that an off-duty cop was the one who did it to him, and his description of the cop, well, it sounded an awful lot like Damien Tyler.
That's ridiculous. Damien would never do that. We know him.
Well, what do you think?
Maybe this man has a grudge against Tyler and is trying to get back at him by bringing a brutality charge.
Well, I don't have any idea, but I know Derek is on his honeymoon, and I didn't want to get his deputy involved.
No, don't do that. Let my office do a little investigating. I'm sure Derek wouldn't object. Waiter, do you think we can get a table inside?
Yes, sir. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Must have been a great salad.
Boy, are you going to be so glad you came to lunch with me?
Aha, here she is, the mystery woman. Calvin told me you were back at work. Are you by any chance planning on coming home anytime soon, miss? Oh, Dee. Oh, Miss.
Oh, brother.
Oh, I was so worried about you. Where were you?
Oh, no place special. I was just sort of messing around, you know. Well, anyway, I am back at work, and my work is waitressing, so take a perch.
Looks good to me.
Okay, I'll get you some menus.
Okay.
Well, she certainly didn't say very much, did she? What did she tell you?
Look, she is back, and she is fine. That is all that matters, so stop fretting.
You're a fine one to talk. I never saw anyone so fretful in all my life.
Yeah, well, I have my reasons.
I brought one menu.
No, it's okay. We'll share. Look, miss, that letter I left here, did it get off all right?
What letter?
You did post some letters for Sid this morning, didn't you?
Sid's letters, yeah. Yeah, no problem. Hey, I'll talk to you in just a minute. Hi. Yeah.
Well, that's it. The letter is on its way to New York.
Well.
No problem. My favorite words. The guy at the bank handed the money over like it was a big bag of peanuts. I got it right here. $100,000. Yeah, at first he wanted to give it to me in a check. I said, no, sir. Mrs. Whitney wants it in hard, cold cash. Listen, Smiley, we've got the money now. What do we do with it?
Relax. This money's ours until Reagan Whitney's exonerated by the grand jury or stands trial, and that could take a little time.
As long as you keep her convinced she's in trouble.
We'll convince her, okay, with the help of our friends Nora and Spencer.
Yes? Yes, he is. You want to talk to him? Hold on a second. There's a phone call for you, Smiley.
Thanks. Yeah, Smiley here.
It's Nora Fulton. Got a problem, Smiley, a big problem.
All right, talk to me.
Mrs. Whitney insists on talking to the DA, my car, or his wife. They're friends of hers.
I know.
Well, I was able to stall her. I told her that no one was in at the office when I called. They must be out to lunch, but I can't do that forever.
Of course you can't.
What are we going to do?
All right. I think we all ought to blow out our brains. Don't worry. I'll take care of it. I can take care of anything.
Well, you'd better. This thing's a lot trickier than I thought it would be.
Hey, listen, don't worry, okay? You'll be fine. You've got a good head on your shoulders. And come to think of it, the rest of you is pretty good, too. Listen, I think we ought to get to know each other, so why don't we get together sometime? What do you think?
Don't you think I understand what's happened, Spencer? I know what's happened. You've lost interest. You no longer feel that I'm going to be of value for either one of you two.
I never thought it was going to be easy trying to prove your identity, but that doesn't mean I ever intended to abandon you.
Then why are you trying to stop me from doing what I want to do, from the only thing I can do, from going public, from going to the DA, from telling him what happened?
Then what?
He'll mount an investigation and he'll find out what really went on.
They won't, Schuyler. There's no reason for them to do that.
Well, then find me this damn woman, Spencer, so that I can wring her neck and get her to admit that she's a liar and that she married an imposter.
That's out of the question. The more you'd accuse, the more she'd deny.
Well, then what do you want to do, Spencer, huh? What ideas have you got? You don't have any. You've run dry. Admit it.
You're right. I had run out of ideas, but things have changed.
What's changed?
Something has happened. Something totally unexpected. It may prove to be the answer to our problem.
What's that?
You're going to have to trust me. You're going to have to let me handle things the way I see fit, and above all, we must keep Libby out of this. Do you understand?
What is this, a double cross?
Let me do what I have to, and you'll get everything you want.
I don't understand you, Geraldine. How could you desert me at a time like this? I've got a good mind to call you and tell you exactly what I think of you. I'm sure I could find you in Washington if I really wanted. But why should I? You don't even care if I go to prison for the rest of my life.
Mrs. Whitney, I haven't been able to reach either of the cars. I'll have to keep trying.
That's all right. Are you sure that Mrs. Saxon didn't leave a number around where she could be reached?
No, she didn't.
But she knew what had happened to me, right?
Oh, yes, she knew it all, but she decided to leave anyway.
I don't know if I can deal with this. Damien, Tyler hasn't even come around. He used to come around all the time. Now when I need him, he must have a girlfriend. And I thought he was in love with me.
Whitney residence. Oh, yes, one moment. It's Mr. Carr.
Oh, thank heavens.
Hello, Mike. I'm so glad you called back.
I knew you were out on bail, Raven. I'm very glad about that.
Well, I feel like a prisoner. I can't step foot outside my own door.
Actually, I think that's probably a very good idea, Raven.
Look, I need to talk to you. I thought maybe you and Nancy could come over and see me tonight.
Well, I'm afraid that's not a very good idea.
Why not?
I think you know that as DA, I have to present the case to the grand jury. If I saw you socially, that might hurt both of us.
I know, but Mike, I need to talk to you.
Raven, listen to me. It's not going to be very long, I promise you. But until it's over...
Mike!
Until it's over, take my advice. Don't leave your house. Don't call people or see anyone. Just keep to yourself. And before you know it, everything will be all right again. Will you do that, Raven?
All right. Whatever you say. I won't leave the house.
Report that two suspects in last week's robbery of diamond dealer Gaylord Marshall were taken into custody earlier this morning. They are Donald Harmon and Jason Green, both residents of Springfield. In other news, the City Council voted today to renew rent control and rent stabilization statutes for the next 2 years. However, the Council failed to reenact amendments that would further protect tenants and ease certain restrictions on landlords. That's the news for tonight. This is Nicole Kavanaugh wishing you
like
a
that?
very pleasant evening.
Not one word about me being a victim of the police system or nothing about my being out on bail.
But you said you didn't want any publicity.
Well, of course I don't want any publicity, but Nicole at least could have said something about the fact that I'm innocent or the fact that I'm out of jail.
Well, maybe she didn't hear about it.
I'm surprised it's not the biggest news story in Monticello. My husband's was.
Would you like some coffee?
No, and furthermore, that phone hasn't rang once since I've been home. Everyone must think I'm in jail. Where is everybody anyway?
Maybe they don't know you're here.
Well, then I think it's time it was announced. Now I'm going to call Nicole right now and give her a piece of my mind.
Please, don't excite yourself, Mrs. Whitney. I know you've had a terrible experience, but you can't get so overwrought.
I'm a wreck. Every time one little thing comes up, I go nuts.
All right, well, let me shoulder some of it. Or maybe I can figure out what's going on. Maybe it'll be on the late news.
Well, I hope so. It's not fair to leave it hanging.
I'll try to take care of it. Now, listen, I work for Mrs. Kavanaugh. I'm sure she'll talk to me. Listen, you go upstairs and rest.
All right. But you tell her if she doesn't say something quick, I'm going to raise hell.
All right, I'm playing 4 for 1, $1
Kid, you watching
dime. So win is not a crime. Hey, kid, if you ever see anybody do this on the street, you just walk the other way. You understand?
Calvin.
Find the red.
We have a shoplifter over there.
That's Bertha. Let's go.
Hey, Bertha, you want to give us a look at that umbrella?
Ah, hey, what are you doing?
Oh, leave me alone. Don't touch me. I'm
Bertha,
filming.
that's a felony to hit a police officer. Sit down. Calvin, you okay?
I think she caught me on the collarbone.
Okay, Bertha.
It was awful, Hector. I walked into that cell and told Raven that she was free on bail. I felt like I was leading a lamb to slaughter.
Oh, but you did it with such authority, Jim. You were great.
Yeah, the authority of an actor doing lines.
Hey, you made her happy. Now, what's wrong with that?
That's quite a price for happiness.
$100,000. I mean, did you notice? When you dropped that figure in her lap, she just wanted to know if she could charge it.
Yeah, she did pull out that checkbook pretty fast to get out of that crummy place.
I mean, $100,000 to Raven Whitney is like a $10 bill to you or me.
Hector, you ever think about retribution?
No. Guilt-free.
Wish I was.
Hey, don't worry about it. You get lines in your face.
The only lines I'm worried about are prison stripes.
What? Nobody goes to jail for a practical joke.
Practical joke? This is grand larceny.
She'd get her money back.
When?
Eventually. It's just bail money.
You really believe that?
As long as we can keep Raven Whitney dangling, we can put that money to good use.
How long do you think you can keep her imprisoned in her own house? I mean, she lives with Geraldine Saxon. That's one of the most influential ladies in this whole town. When she gets wind of this, she's going to have the bloodhounds out.
She's not going to get wind of it, Jim. She's out of town. Hmm?
You guys are pathetic. So what if you do have that money now? How are you going to make that into a profit so fast?
Yeah, we leave that to Smiley.
Yeah. You're going to gamble with it, aren't you? I know about Smiley and his passion for the ponies. He's going to go to the track, and he's not going to leave us with dime one.
Hey, calm down, Jim. I mean, if you're so dead set against us, why'd you agree to play the lawyer in the first place?
Your sweet brother threatened me with a polite blackmail. He said that he'd tell Valerie all about this if I didn't go along with it. That'd be the last time I ever saw her. I wanted to get out of this thing a long time ago. Now I'm stuck with it.
Hey, don't worry about it. You'll see. It'll all come out in the wash.
Prison laundry.
Boss man?
Diedrichson Studios. Oh, yeah. But no, he's not here. Just a minute. It's Nora.
Hey. Ah, hi, honey. How are things going over at the mansion?
Not too calm. The atmosphere is getting a little steamy around here.
What's wrong?
We've got another problem, and this one isn't going away by itself.
Well, now you just tell old Uncle Hector what's the problem, and we'll figure it out.
Hold me, come on and hold me. Baby, please rock me, gentle and slow. Now that I have you, finally have you, baby, I'll never.
Because you had tickets for her performance?
Dee Dee, you know I left so suddenly. After Star found out about us, she just took off. She didn't even give me a chance to say a word to her.
And you had to make sure that you got that word in, right?
Well, I couldn't just leave things the way they were.
Guess you must have had some pretty interesting conversations in the big city.
Well, actually, we didn't talk that much about it. I mean, Star didn't want to. She preferred to understand that this kind of thing sometimes happens to a man when he's left alone too long.
Thanks. Well, I guess you must feel relieved now. Your conscience is clear.
I hope you know what I mean. I didn't clear up much of anything. She preferred to kind of forget the past.
Could you do that?
Well, we tried real hard, but I think we both knew it was impossible.
Calvin, what are you going to do?
Do?
About this conflict that you have. How are you going to decide what it is that you really want?
Dee Dee, I already know exactly what it is I really want. What I don't know is how to make it happen.
Boy, Damien was really right about you. You are honest. Boy, you're too damned honest.
Yeah, well, did Damien have anything else to say about me?
Yeah. Damien also said that you loved me.
Dee Dee, I hope you know that's true.
I'm glad you're back. I was afraid, I thought maybe you weren't coming back. And then I would never get a chance to tell you.
Tell me what?
tell you this. Who is it? Welcome in and welcome home. What's the matter with your key?
I couldn't make it fit.
No wonder it's been so long since you've used it.
Oh, I knew you weren't going to be pleased when I got home. I just knew it.
Well, I was going to start in on you at Sid's, but there was too much going on and you were too busy.
Okay, you can do it now.
Oh, no, it's too late. Francis can't help you now. What's the story?
Well, I don't really have anything prepared.
Mitzi, why should you have to prepare anything? Why can't you just tell it like it is? Okay, maybe I can help you. You were kidnapped by pirates.
No, nothing like that.
You went to visit your sick mother.
No, she's fine, thanks.
I've got it. You were hit over the head, and you're suffering from amnesia, and you can't remember a thing.
That's good. I was just sort of wandering around, I guess.
Mitzi, look, I'm not trying to pry or anything like that, but it was 3 whole days with no word at all. You should have called.
Oh, Dee Dee, I didn't have a dime.
You know, Mitzi, if I didn't know you better, I'd say you were taking advantage of Cliff's absence to,
Oh, Dee Dee, no. I mean, no way. I mean, I adore Cliff. I mean, I never do that. I mean, if he was good looking, maybe. No, that's crazy. Never.
Okay, I don't want to invade your privacy. I'm sure the whole story will come out someday. See, that really wasn't so bad, was it? And you didn't need Francis after all.
Dee Dee, I swear I'll tell you. One of these days, I'll do it. You see, right now I'm sworn to secrecy, that's all. Hey, you're not mad at me, are you?
No, Missy, I'm not mad.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Honest?
Honest.
Good. Now, tell me everything about Calvin. What's going on?
Well, Calvin has just written a letter to his wife asking for a divorce.
My gosh. That's really something.
Yeah.
Well, what do you suppose is going to happen?
Well, the letter was very beautiful. It was very warm and honest and sincere. I don't see how she has any choice but to say yes.
I got too much sense to know.
No, it sure hurts like hell.
Well, at least it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be.
What did this lady hit you with?
Would you believe an umbrella?
Her name is Umbrella Bertha. She's a shoplifter. We've been trying to catch her with the goods for a long time.
Yeah, well, she certainly had the goods today. That thing was so full of costume jewelry, it felt like a ton of bricks.
Well, you're going to be fine. I'd avoid playing touch football for a while.
Don't worry about that.
Listen, Gail, would you take Detective Stoner across the hall and finish up?
You follow me, please?
Damien, do you have time for a couple of questions? Sure. We have a patient here at the hospital named Sammy Wheaton. He was the victim of a pretty savage beating last night. He's claiming a cop did the job on him.
Sure, we get that kind of response all the time.
Yeah, well, you see, the point is, in this case, the description he gave, well, you seem to fit it.
Tall, dark, handsome, and debonair. Oh, wait a minute. I did hit a guy last night. He was really ugly for some reason, but I sure didn't beat him up.
Why don't you go take a look at this guy? He's in 314.
Sure as hell will.
Dr. Kavanaugh, there's a call for you.
Dr. Kavanaugh.
Miles, it's Derek.
Derek, a little surprised to hear from you. Is anything wrong?
No, nothing's wrong up here, but I got a call from Ed Anderson. He told me there's some trouble with Damien Tyler. Is it true that he beat somebody up?
Well, we have a patient here at the hospital who's claiming just that.
If that charge against Tyler is true, there's no excuse for it. It's damaging to the whole department.
Has he really been accused of brutality?
Oh, it's a common enough charge against police officers, but sometimes it's justified.
But not in your department.
Well, I try not to let it be, but a cop gets out on the street and his tensions carry him away, and sometimes it results in violence. People just don't realize, though, that a cop is a human being with emotions, too.
Well, I realize that. And I know that sometimes there are provocations.
Yeah, there are. But I cannot even give the appearance of condoning this.
Well, I know you think so highly of Damien. I mean, it just doesn't sound like him, does it?
Doesn't. He doesn't. He's one of my best officers. So I've got to be especially firm with him.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Look, I didn't mean to burden you with all of this. I want to leave my police work back in Monticello and devote 100% of my attentions to you.
Well, I know that nobody can demand 100%, and I know you're concerned about your work, so I'll only ask for 50%.
No. I'm going to spend all my time showing you just how much I love you. But that phone is going to ring again. I asked them to call me back with all the details. I'm sorry. I just got to know.
How do you do? Mrs. Whitney's expecting you.
Come in, Mr. Matthews.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Matthews. Please come in and sit down and tell me everything. I want to know what is going on.
Well, the grand jury is convening, so I won't be hearing about that for a few days. I assume that you saw the Monticello news.
Yes, my picture is smeared all over the front page. What I want to know is why wasn't I on the television news? Why was nothing said about the fact that I'm out on bail?
Well, you have to understand that we've done a good job of soft-pedaling the television stations. But there was a leak to the Monticello news, and they ran with it. But we've done a very good job of keeping the television stations at arm's length. Mrs. Whitney, I hope you appreciate the fact that we've done a very good job of protecting you from media exposure.
Well, I guess it makes sense, but all I want to do is just crawl in a hole and hide until it's all over.
Dr. Kavanaugh, your wife's here.
Dr. Kavanaugh.
Mrs. C., what are you doing in these parts?
I just felt like seeing my husband, and I thought maybe if I'm lucky, he might take me out for a quick supper before the 11 o'clock news.
You got a date, lady.
Well, can you leave now?
Well, in a few minutes. I'm waiting for Calvin Stoner to get back.
What's he doing here?
Oh, he was injured slightly. Damien brought him in. I just want to see him before he leaves.
Oh, did you get a chance to talk to Damien about this fellow who says that he was beating him up?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I sent him to take a look at his accuser.
Good God, you look like somebody ran over you with a Mack truck.
Yeah, that's right, and the truck was wearing a badge.
What? I hit you with one punch, and you know it, one punch.
You mean this is the guy?
Yeah, that's him, but if he says I did that to him, he's out of his tree.
You just keep saying that, pig.
What?
You know you did.
Yes?
This guy still has me. Do I have to put up with this?
I think it's time for you men to leave.
Okay, pal.
About Jinx?
No, he didn't mention her.
Oh, Miles, I just can't believe it's going to happen. It's so unfair. They're so
There's nothing
involved.
fair about any of it, but we know that. They know that. They're handling it the best they can by holding on for whatever time is allowed them.
Yes, I guess you're right.
You know, she's been in remission, but the last time I checked her here at the hospital before she got married, her condition had degenerated badly.
Well, at least they have each other.
Hello, Mrs. Kennedy.
Hi, Nicole. How
You
are
see the patient? Yeah, I saw him. That's the guy I hit, all right, but I certainly didn't do that to him.
Oh, Miles, look, it's the same old charge. These guys are always yelling police brutality.
Excuse me. Detective Tyler, there's a phone call for you.
Excuse me. Damian Tyler.
Tyler, this is Chief Mallory.
Chief, what's going on?
Listen, I'll get right to the point. I heard about the trouble you had, and I've heard about the charges against you.
News travels very fast. I can assure you the allegations are totally untrue.
Well, I believe that, but it doesn't really matter. You are under suspension.
What? Hey, wait a minute. I just told you that I'm not lying.
Now listen to me. That doesn't really matter. I hate this more than you do, but until the investigation has been completed, I've got to go by the book. You are under suspension as of now.
First time in days I feel reassured. Thank heavens for that gorgeous blonde.
Who?
Bennett Matthews.
Oh. Well, I can certainly see how you feel relieved, Mrs. Whitney, but you seem a little tired.
I'm exhausted. I couldn't sleep in that jail. But I think I should be able to sleep now, so I'm going to go up and rest up. Thank you for everything.
Good night.
Good night.
I'll be standing by for you.
Okay, thanks.
What the hell are you doing here?
I'm the delivery man.
Delivering what?
Oh, something to solve Mrs. Whitney's problem? Yeah. Nice place. Now, show me to your basement.